From planes that end up in the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base to retired spy planes, I am going to tell you my top 10 retired USAF aircraft. Coming up on number 10 is the B36 Peacemaker, built by Convair in the 1950s and 40s. The B36, with its 6 propeller and 10 and 4 jet design, being a 10-engined aircraft. A lot of these did not survive. Only 4 survived, while the rest of them got scrapped. This is a picture of a Convair B36 at the Piedmont Air and Space Museum in Tucson, Arizona. Coming up on number 9 is the B25 Mitchell, built by North American Corp in the 1940s. This aircraft was a U.S. bomber and was used in a lot of bombing missions. So a lot of the class survived. Some of them used in the Navy for some reason. And some of them still fly today. Coming up, number 8 is the P51 Mustang. Yep, you got it. The North American P51 Mustang. Being one of the most popular propeller prop fighter aircraft, the North American P51 Mustang was used in a lot of fighting missions. So there, a lot of the class survived, and some of them, of course, are flying. Coming up on number 7 is the F86 Saber. You got it, the F86 Saber, built by North American Corporation, the same company that made the P51 and the B25. While this is out of America, the Russians decided to make the MiG-15, another sort of like aircraft that related to the F86 Saber of America. This is the one I saw at the Western Museum in Torrance, California, known as the Suitcase's Apple Knocker. The Suitcase's Apple Knocker was piloted by Lieutenant J.J. Sampson, Jr. and is at the Western Museum of Flight in Torrance, California. Coming up on number 6 is the T33 Shooting Star. This was made by Lockheed in around the early 40s and 1950s and used as a training aircraft. This aircraft was used by the Thunderbirds, as well as many training squad missions. A lot of the class survived. The same museum that has the Suitcase's Apple Knocker I mentioned earlier has this aircraft, but just plain livery, at the Western Museum in Torrance, California. Coming up on number 5, the SR71 Blackbird, the only spy plane ever used on this mission, probably the only black plane on this list. The iconic SR71 Blackbird had many different designs. Coming along its little buddy, I call it, is the D21 drone, another strange aircraft that is used to put it on. It's kind of like this, on top of the SR71 Blackbird is like a piggyback ride for the D21 drone. Coming up on number 4 is the Boeing B17 Flying Fortress. I've seen 2 of these of the class before. The first one, the 909, survives by the Collins Foundation, while the aluminum overcast survives at the, I don't know what but it is the same owner of the B20. It is probably the same owner of the Fifi, a B29 Super Fortress. Coming up on number 3 is the B24 Liberator. The Witchcraft is the only B24 I ever saw, along with the B17 909. You're right. This aircraft goes with the 909 B17 Flying Fortress. These were built by Consolidated Corporation in the 1940s. These aircraft were even a modified version called the PBY-2 Privateer. This is a Navy version of the B-24 Liberator. Coming up on number 2 is the Lockheed C141 Starlifter. You're right. The only aircraft that retired over the 2000s was no other than the famous Lockheed C141 Starlifter and aircraft. The Lockheed C141s were built around the 1970s and they were given to the Air Force bases. Well, after they're gone, they end up here at the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, along with other aircraft. Before we get to the number 1 spots, here are some honorable mentions. Coming up on honorable mention number 1 is the B58 Hustler. I would put this list onto the number 7 spot, but I decided to put the F86 Saber because this is also a strange plane. Well, I tried, but the B47 couldn't improve me on the number 6 spot. So I chose the T33 Shooting Star, which is seen in the background of this photo. I believe our Thunderjet. This is an iconic design to the iconic B52 Fortress. This is known as the B47 Stratojet. The final honorable mention is the F100 Super Saber. I also tried to put this on the number 6 spot, but the T33 Shooting Star beat it to the number 6 spot. Coming up on number 1 is the iconic Boeing B29 Super Fortress. Yep, I said it, the B29 Super Fortress. And I'm talking about you, Enola Gay, because this is the aircraft that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima on August 6th, 1945. And I'm also talking about the Keybird, in 1995 trying to have a rescue, crashed and had on fire. It is still buried inside the site today. The B-29 named Boxcar dropped the Fat Man, a bomb that dropped in Nagasaki on August 9th, 1945. I'm going to show you a picture of the Boxcar. This is the one, the Boxcar. This is the one that dropped the bomb in Nagasaki on August 9th, 1945. And this is the Fat Man. This is the Fat Man, and I believe this is the little boy that was dropped by the Enola Gay on 3 days earlier to 1945. The Boxcar dropped the Fat Man while the Enola Gay dropped. The Boxcar dropped their bomb, 3 days after Enola Gay dropped the Hiroshima nuclear attack. Before I go, I'm going to show you the results. What happened to the little boy and to the Fat Man. So far, I think this is the best result of the little boy atomic bomb. And now I'm gonna look up the Fat Man. Wait a minute! This is the Nagasaki one. This is the Fat Man, and this is the little boy's explosion. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to Pineapple Turtle, and bye-bye.